Hi there guys, Sam here. You join me once again for another quick video, and as the title suggests, I just wanted to talk a little bit around modifications and why. I've had the car for nearly, it'll be 2 years, midway sort of part through this year. But yeah, I have a standard OEM factory car, no mods at all, and yeah, just a little bit of a discussion around that. And do you really kind of need to modify your car? Why I haven't modified my car as well, just a little bit around that sort of area. So yeah, I'll get straight into it. So for those of you who don't know, I own a 2017 Golf R, a Mark 7 manual gearbox. Absolutely love it. It's looking great. Giving it a bit of a clean last weekend, and the paint comes up so well. It's an absolutely fantastic car, with 300 brake horsepower, four-wheel drive, averaging kind of sort of like 33, 34 miles per gallon. It's a pretty sensational car in my eyes, and it absolutely ticks every single box out of the box, really. Out of the box, it's a fantastic car. But I do know modifications are, quite a big thing. There's only so much a manufacturer can do in certain areas, and to have sort of specialists. I've done a video in the past about Revo. You can get a sort of a basic stage 1 to around 370 brake horsepower, and you straight away you can get a Golf R to sort of go sub 4 seconds to 60 pretty easy, which is ridiculous. And you can, there's technology in place to prevent sort of damage to the engine and to sort of keep the car intact. And there's loads out there, and there's loads of sort of cheaper mods you can do. You can get like resonator deletes, you can change out the exhaust, you can put in air filters, you can put in new radiators, you could change the whole lot. You can go endless, and it is that sort of endless, never-ending cycle, which is probably why I haven't got into it, to be honest. As a bit of a backstory, I had a Fiesta ST before this car for 4 years, and it was probably the most modified car to date at the moment. There's so many tuning companies out there, like sort of Mountune, and relatively affordable, and can get gains out of the car. You can do anything to it basically. I kept my car completely OEM standard throughout the 4 years, and I absolutely loved it. And I never really felt like I was missing anything personally. I never felt like I was missing power. I never felt I was missing handling. I never felt like the brakes weren't good enough. I never felt that anything was needed to the car. Out of the box, it nailed it. And I love that kind of OEM feel, because at the end of the day, the manufacturer has put in a lot of effort and a lot of testing, a lot of time to get a car to that kind of level. And it's no different with the Golf R. Being the main difference is that it's a step up. It's a step up in quality, it's a step up in parts, it's a step up in build quality as well. And I got that impression a lot from this car, and it really made me feel, what more would you kind of want to add to a car that's been built in this way, and to such a high standard, and to such a high performance car out of the box as well, because it really is. I mean, it's a very quick car. Obviously I have a manual. DSG owners are well aware that you can pretty much get away from the lights faster than absolutely anyone. You can keep up with most cars which can cost 2-3 times the price as well, even out of the box. So the performance is there, and the quality is absolute there as well. As kind of like the modification scene has kind of grown, going back to the Fiesta ST, I kind of like to have something a little bit different. And funnily enough, not actually modifying a car and keeping it standard is actually kind of a little bit different to what the trend is kind of going with. I also, when I had the Fiesta, sort of said to myself, well, if I'm going to you can get an MP215 kit for the Fiesta ST for about 600 quid, fully fitted, and it increases the brake horsepower by about 15, increases the torque, and suddenly you're sort of closer to 6 seconds to 60, and it's got that in-gear acceleration, which is better. It also didn't void the warranty as well, which was another big thing, which not all modifications do. The only real cost would be that, and potentially a premium on my insurance to kind of declare it. But I was sort of saying, where does it kind of stop, and why am I trying to chase the brake horsepower and spend a certain amount of money? You can eventually get into the thousands of pounds sort of mark, where I could potentially get something like a Golf R, which has 300 brake horsepower out of the box, and it's all sort of safe and secure. You know, you put 300 brake horsepower in a Fiesta ST, you may well have some problems. The car isn't maybe necessarily designed to push out that kind of power. Certainly not without a lot of investment, a lot of cooling, and a lot of work and effort gone inside. And that's exactly what I did. And I got this car, and I absolutely loved it. The performance was certainly a big step on. Certainly once you get going. I think I've done a few a few sort of drag type races with my other half's Fiesta ST, and off the mark and round corners they're so quick. Bear in mind it's about half a ton lighter, 400 kilos lighter. It does bite. It's only once you sort of get above sort of 30, 40, you know, obviously you just leave it for dead kind of thing. The four-wheel drive traction as well means you can go around corners faster. And the reason why I didn't do it on my Fiesta ST was because, yeah, how much would I have had to spend, you know, honestly, to get it to almost the level of this? You know, it wasn't worth it. So I took the plunge, and I've got this car. Why haven't I modified my car like absolutely everyone else does, or potentially a lot of people think about? And I've thought about it before, as I mentioned before, the Revo video that I've done. It's definitely... I've had a good look around this car, and I know it might sound stupid, love looking underneath it. It's just so well built and compact, and the quality is there. I just wouldn't want to add anything, to be honest. I know some people might think, oh, it's just a Golf, you know, get over yourself. This isn't a Porsche. This isn't something like really a step on. But for me, there's nothing I would want to improve at all. I just think it is that perfect all-rounder car without a compromise. You know, you can slam these cars as well. You can lower them. It's not going to help the ride. I use this daily. It's not going to help. I could increase the power. In the UK, how you know, where am I going to be able to put down 400 brake horsepower without getting myself into plenty of trouble? I can put down 300 brake horsepower and still be within sort of legal limits. I like that. You know, exhaust wise, I think the exhaust sounds great. I think once you really get it going, it does make a few good noises, and it's great for me. The car's well insulated anyway, so even if you've got a really loud exhaust, you're probably only benefiting the people outside rather than inside. And it's got a sound actuator from sort of like the windscreen and the dash, which is really good. And in fact, it works with the conditions on very cold mornings. When you go off, it almost like it vibrates the whole dash when the engine's really cold and you put your foot down. It sounds great. It sounds fantastic. And it's such a perfect car. I just wouldn't want to change it. I think from styling point of view, I think if you're going to get this type of car as a Golf, and again, I listen to you guys quite a lot as well in the comments, it's that understated feel. It's that no one's really... I say no one's going to be getting up behind you trying to race you. When the exhausts are shiny and the car's clean, people know that you're in quite a decent car. But at the same time, people who are not into their cars, not in the know, they wouldn't have a clue. And certainly when it's a little bit dirtier as well, it's just a normal Golf. In fact, I've seen some other sort of like R-Lines or GTIs. Sometimes from some angles you can kind of think, oh wow, that's decent, that's an R. And sometimes the R is almost the most understated car out of the whole VW Golf group, minus the four exhausts at the back. And so from an outside sort of you know, exterior modification, I wouldn't want to change it. I've said before, if you follow my channel, you know, been going for about a year and a half now, I love the 40th anniversary edition. And exterior wise, it looks brilliant. It's a Club Sport. It's basically a Club Sport S with back seats minus a bit of power. And I think it has that kind of aggressive nature. The GTI kind of has that a little, for some random reason, it looks a little bit more sporty. And I think with like the rear wing and the exhausts and everything about it, I think it's got like little sort of like fins on sort of like the front of the car. It looks really cool, but it does certainly stand out a bit more. And I guess that can, you know, in the real world, it's not always the best thing. This car doesn't. And this car is actually a lot faster as well, just because of the four-wheel drive and because of the more power. The 40th anniversary editions are also horrendously expensive because they hold their value because they're rare. So yeah, I don't want to go on too much further, but essentially that's the reason why I kind of haven't modified anything in this car. I think it's absolutely perfect out of the box. I have nothing against people who do modify their cars and do put their money where their mouth is as well, when they sort of say, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I do think it's kind of an endless thing, and once you get to a point where your car is quite heavily modified, you're kind of like, oh, where do I go? Oh, I'll just get another car. Yeah, that's kind of where it ends, where for me I'm sort of like, well, I absolutely love this car. I don't have any rush to kind of do any modifications, and also, cost-wise, it's a big thing. I do wonder how people do afford the insurance and stuff like that when you change little bits here and there, because, you know, it's not... You know, you do have to tell them, and from a warranty perspective, you know, if the worst case scenario you had a bad accident and your car was written off, insurance companies will nitpick absolutely everything, and if certain things are not declared and they can get away without paying out, you know, do you really, really want to take that risk on an expensive car? I personally would not. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts, because I know a lot of people out there have Golf Rs, and a lot of people I speak to, I think generally are kind of quite OEM on their Golf Rs, and I think that kind of suits the car quite well. I think maybe other cars out there in this kind of segment, like the Focus RS, the A45, they're quite, people just like to tune them sort of straight out of the box for whatever reason. I know Golf Rs are in the same segment, but yeah, let me know in the comments, you know, have you modified your car? Have you changed anything about it to maybe get it to a position where you prefer it? I do get that out of the box it might not have suited you in certain ways, so you want to change it, and then you might want to just leave it, you don't want to stop. Or have you got to a point where you've really gone to town, you know, you've stage 1, stage 2, you've got a lot of power out of the car, and it's changed the car and it's made it even more brilliant for you. And that's fantastic. I really would like to know your thoughts. A little bit around costs as well. How much does it really cost to do all these parts? Because it does add up. I'm not in a position to kind of afford all these kind of things. You know, I think paying for the car is enough from my side. There's a lot of other things in life you have to think about. But yeah, there you go. Certainly let me know your thoughts in the comments. Be really interested to know what you think. You know, do you think I'm completely wrong and you should always look to enhance things with modifications, or do you think maybe it makes sense to keep things OEM? There's no real right or wrong answer. It's personal opinion, but I am really interested to know your thoughts. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Thanks so much for the support and the subscriptions and the comments I've had with you guys. It's been absolutely fantastic. You know, started the year, hasn't snowed yet, but it's freaking freezing. And be sure to see more videos. I won't just be sitting on my driveway in my car. I will drive the car. So probably some more driving videos coming up after this one, rather than just talking. But thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you again next time. Cheers, guys.